Last year, I had thought, you know what, American Riviera, that sounds like such a great name. It's my neighborhood, it's a nickname for Santa Barbara, but it limited me to things that were just manufactured and grown in this area. Then Netflix came on, not just as my partner in the show, but as my partner in my business, which was huge. So I thought about it, and I've been waiting for a moment to share a name that I had secured in 2022, and this is the moment. And it's called As Ever.
There's a lot of sort of jumping in and then rethinking, and of course, it's always this part of this sort of, as I've said before, this sort of rebranding of themselves and reinventing themselves so that they're always in view of the public. And it seems to me this sort of connection with Netflix. It occurred to me that Netflix apparently are going to be stocking some of these products. Well, I guess that from the Netflix point of view, this announcement gives them quite a lot of publicity. And of course, if it doesn't work out, as has been pointed out, the brands will just disappear from the shelves. So, on the other hand, it might be a great success. Who knows? But it does all seem a little bit, how can I put it? Well, it's obviously incredibly commercial. It's obviously aimed at marketing. But from what I read, they are. All this has happened quite suddenly. There's lots of applications being put in and things being registered and so forth. I think it's all a little bit sort of done on the hoof, to be honest. The TIG website thing that she had was very successful, and so I can understand why she would wish to plunge in there. But equally, I'm sure she has also. Well, we know she does have a lot of followers. Lots of people do follow her because inevitably, whenever I say anything, I always get sort of streams of hate messages and things. So she has a lot of fans out there. She's bound to try to get as many people to follow it as possible. I think there are, am I right, 8 33-minute segments of this new program coming out. It'd be interesting to see how many people watch them. I was also rather interested that, she's telling us, giving us the impression that we're going to get a lot of fine cooking and sort of nice things from the garden, sort of strawberries cut up beautifully like little hearts and things like that, and lots of fresh things. And yet, on the other hand, she then sends out a message on St. Valentine's Day saying that she'll eat burgers and fish and chips with Prince Harry till the end of time. So I was wondering what exactly she does eat. Are we being told the right story? I'm personally rather against people using their children for advertising purposes, especially when their children are officially members of the royal family. They've been given princely titles. So once again, it's exploiting the royal side. And also, as you rightly say, we don't often see the children. In fact, do we ever see them full on? We see them, the back of the head occasionally, or we see a hand, or we see something. It's all rather sort of tantalizing. It's been like that really right since the start. So I suppose that they have a certain, when they do appear, it's like, gosh, there they are, they exist, and that's what they look like. But we don't see them very often.
It's recording.
Okay.
Even in the introductory video, we just saw a clip of him outside, didn't we? I mean, he had to make an appearance. And in a way, that, of course, is all to do with, I suppose, I was going to say product placing, but Meghan placing. I mean, we watch her because she's married to Prince Harry. That's the reason we watch her. And really the only reason, to be quite honest. It's presumably also partly to present this sort of happy family front. And if he's there doing the recording, that shows that he's around and that he's participating in the whole thing. She definitely needs him. I mean, I rather, wonder what will happen if ever the day comes when she doesn't need him, but that's all in the future. But I mean, that is why, I've said this a million times, I'm afraid, but that is why we watch them, because he is Prince Harry. I mean, that he's put her on the map. I mean, she was quite well known before she got involved with him, but she's extremely well known as a result of having married Prince Harry. That's what it's all about, and that's what gives her the reason for being on these Netflix programs and so forth. That's why people back her, because they are members of the royal family, whether they're working or otherwise. And that's what it's always come down to that, I'm afraid. I think you'll find they're both, as it were, playing to their skills. He we've seen him in the last week, the Invictus Games, and that was all very good. And that's what he's good at, and that's what he should do more of. And she is, you know, is a red carpet Hollywood type of person. I mean, that's the sort of thing that she does. And so she's in fact following the route that many similar have taken, and she's getting a lot of attention because, unlike all the others, she's married to Prince Harry, and that's where it all stems from. What she was doing before she married him was all going down quite a good path. I mean, she was in suits, and she was, addressing the United Nations, and she was going into Commonwealth countries and doing various humanitarian efforts and things, which a number of public figures do. Where she's ramped it all up is by being married to Prince Harry, and unfortunately not prepared to be part of the sort of working royal family, working for the United Kingdom and Commonwealth and serving as all the others do, but then taking, heading off into a new world, a world of celebrity, and then sort of planning her next path from there. So, if you look at it, it's a sort of leap. So I don't think she's actually wanted to go back to what she was before. I think she's moving forward, but she's moving forward into an area in which she's probably much more comfortable than she ever was in royal life. But I think she's fairly unstoppable. But I think from what I understand, they do pretty much read everything that's written about them and examine everything that's said about them. I think they're quite touchy on that subject. But as anyone knows in public life, what you have to do is just keep going, and she's certainly good at that. I mean, nothing stops her, does it? If something goes wrong, she rebrands it and has another try. Well, that's commendable, actually. That's what she should do. Sometimes when she's really going for it, he looks very uncomfortable, doesn't he? The worst moment, I think, being in one of those documentaries when she was mocking how she curtsied to the Queen, and he looked incredibly uncomfortable sitting on the sofa beside her when that happened. So I imagine that some of the things that she does, he finds rather difficult to support. I think they probably had a lot more success and publicity and money thrown at them in the early stages than is happening now, because the trouble with celebrity is that it doesn't last. I mean, I could name you lots of very famous people that you'll have never heard of who were very famous in their day. And if you take that particular route, you have to keep going. And some celebrities, some people like Joan Collins, for example, are very good at it, and well into her 90s, she's still very center stage, and we all know who she is. But my goodness, I bet she's worked hard at that one. And so this is what they have to do, and it must be quite tricky and quite difficult, because it is the human nature to get bored of people and to move on. That's what happens.